In this video, we will show you how to replace your power steering reservoir to power steering cooler hose on this Lincoln Navigator. This will be located starting from underneath your power steering reservoir down to the cooler. Let's get into it. Alright friends, let's get started on our job. Pop the hood and make your way over to the power steering reservoir. We'll open this cap. Give the seal on the cap a quick inspection to make sure it is still soft and pliable and it's not torn, worn, or damaged in any way. Once you've done that, you can set it aside. Now when you go to add to this in the end, you're going to be using Mercon ATF. That's transmission fluid. Let's remove as much fluid from this as possible. I've got my fluid vacuum. Now let's make our way under the front of the vehicle. Now that we're under the vehicle, you can see exactly where that line connects onto. We're not going to be doing anything with the right side line, only the driver's side line. Now for this, you'll find that you have a clamp. You're going to squeeze this, slide it down the hose or up the line itself, and then remove the hose from it. For this, you can use pliers or a hose removal tool. Continue on with a hose pick. As we're removing this, be extremely careful not to damage the metal of the power steering cooler. As you pull this off of here, keep in mind there is going to be power steering fluid in the area. Make sure you put a collection bucket. Now let's make our way inside the driver's side wheel well. Looking along the top of the frame, you can see exactly where that power steering line goes. It's held in place with two plastic clips, one right here and one just behind it. We'll use a pry bar to gently separate this area and make our way a little further back. Let's follow that line backward toward the bracket. Along the outside, you can see where the clip comes through. We're just going to press right up against the line and drive it out of position. Now we can make our way up into the engine compartment. Let's make our way back over to the power steering reservoir. Down along the bottom, towards the rear of the reservoir is where you're going to find the hose that we are replacing. Let's squeeze that clamp, slide it out of position, and remove the hose from the reservoir. Use our hose pick to break this free, being extremely careful not to damage the power steering reservoir. You can try to use a pry bar to gently pry this out of position. Take hold of that line and remove it from the vehicle. There it is, friends. Now it's time to remove the original clamps from the original line and swap them over to the brand new power steering line. We'll use some pliers, squeeze on that clamp. Keep in mind it is under spring tension. You don't want it to shoot off and potentially hit you in the face. We'll slide that right down this hose. Do the same to the other side. Let's get over to the vehicle. Now we can start putting that hose in the vehicle. We'll slide it down into position. Put this on the bottom of the reservoir. We'll slide it all the way up as far as we can. Make sure it's bottomed out. Then you can slide the clamp into the proper position, holding the hose to the bottom of the reservoir. Grab that hose, make sure it's completely secured to the reservoir. Now from underneath the front of the vehicle, we'll connect the other end of our power steering hose to the power steering cooler. Make sure that's nice and tight and clean your mess. Now let's make our way back into the wheel well and secure that line. Let's get this one in here. Let's make our way over to the power steering reservoir with a funnel and start filling that power steering system with Mercon transmission fluid. Now, once you have your fluid up to at least the maximum level, we're going to go ahead and get inside of the vehicle and turn the wheel from one side all the way to the other several times. What that will do is burp out the air from in the system and allow the fluid to make its way down in. Now we can make our way into the passenger compartment. I'm going to put the key in the on position and turn the wheel from side to side. Have a look inside this reservoir. You're going to see all the air bubbles making their way up as the fluid makes its way down. As we continue doing this, let's make sure that we continue checking the fluid level and adding as necessary. Once you feel as though you see no air coming out of the power steering system, go ahead and make your way into the passenger compartment and start up the vehicle. Continue turning the wheel from side to side several times. Make your way back out here and double check to make sure you don't see any air coming out of the fluid. Assuming that looks good, double check to make sure you're at least up to the maximum line on the power steering reservoir. Continue on to reinstalling your power steering cap, close the hood, and take your vehicle for a road test. Thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.